but that's okay. So let's see. Okay. Well, I'm excited and excited to be here tonight. Thea, thank you so much for inviting me. I am super honored to be asked to talk to your team. You guys are so blessed to have Thea as your coach. I'm just excited for you to have her as a leader in LuLaRoe, and just taking the time out tonight to make time for your business and to learn. I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I have been part of 7 direct sales companies, and that used to be hard for me to even say, but now I'm at the stage in my life where I can appreciate that I've learned something from each of them, and I'm who I am in LuLaRoe because of all those different stages. So I was introduced to LuLaRoe through an online skirt party when there was only maxi skirts 3 years ago, and there was only 400 consultants. I had never heard of the company, and I was in leadership in another direct sales company, and I was invited by one of my team members to this skirt party, and all of the skirts were laid out in squares and numbers on this consultant's floor, tile floor. Okay, there's no lighting or nice photography or anything like that. And we would claim by number what we wanted. And she would open it up and we would claim the skirt. Well, I am very petite. I'm 4'11", and it's very difficult for me to find clothing. So I didn't expect any of the clothes to fit, but I wanted to support my friend because in direct sales, that's what you do, right? So I asked the consultant to do all the measurements. I was that annoying customer that said, can you measure the waist and can you measure the length? And, all those things, I did it. And because the consultant carried extra small, I was able to find a maxi skirt that I loved. Maxi skirts never worked for me before. I've never had a maxi skirt in any company that fit me. But LuLaRoe maxi skirts I can wear because I can adjust the waist. So I was super impressed with that. But what I fell in love with was all the women that were posting photos of themselves in their maxi skirts that they purchased, but their faces and their smiles. And what they posted was how they felt in LuLaRoe. Nothing else but how they felt. And I knew right then, even though I was part of another direct sales, I knew I wanted to be part of this company. I just had a feeling in my heart that this was going to be something big. If you can make women feel that amazing, you're onto something huge. So, imagine telling your husband around 7, I'd really like to try this. We're in skirts now. But he just said, if that's what you want to do, exactly like that, if that's what you want to do. And we started on this adventure 3 years ago. This is my why. You can see this picture of my family. It's my extended family. We were all able to be together for Christmas because of LuLaRoe. We flew them into our house, to our city, and we were all together. And that's so huge that we were able to do that. And then I have the globe because my children go all over the world sharing the gospel of Jesus. They've been to every continent except for Antarctica and Australia. We have 4 children. So it's really amazing. When I started LuLaRoe, I wanted to make $500 extra a month so I could help with sending them on mission trips. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into, none at all. And it's been such an exciting ride, and I'm so thankful. My why in a nutshell is to be able to give generously without limits and without restraint. And before LuLaRoe, we had to look at our bills and say, okay, this is what we can give. And now we can pray and say, God, what do you want us to give? And that's a huge mind shift change. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to be able to do in the future because of LuLaRoe. Today, we're going to talk about Hostess coaching and how to have successful pop-ups. Okay, and I put Hostess prep, but it's the same thing, Hostess coaching. I want to shift your mindset, and I want you, instead of thinking this of Hostess prep or Hostess coaching, it really should be called hostess serving. And I think I'm going to change that in this next presentation that I do, because this really is about serving your hostess. This is, hold on, I got to move all these. Well, I can't, let me see. I can't see my whole presentation because the sidebar has everybody's face. So hold on real quick. I am so sorry, you guys. Let me move this really quick. Oh, now you're gone. Okay.
We can still see you and the slides.
Okay. Is it small now? The slides?
Well, now
Are they?
I don't see the slides anymore. I saw it a second ago when you first showed the sidebar.
I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. I have a touch pad.
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
It really, like, sometimes I mess up. Okay. Can you see it now?
Perfect.
Okay. So really what this is about is learning, what does your hostess want out of her LuLaRoe pop-up? Have you guys ever asked that? Like, so tell me, Thea, what is it that you want? You know, why did you say yes to hosting a LuLaRoe pop-up? You are the expert, okay? You're there to share your expertise and to help her have the most successful pop-up possible. But it's what she wants out of her pop-up. And then you're going to agree on a plan together depending on what it is she wants to get out of her pop-up, okay? So ask her, what does she want? Does she want girl time? Does she want just adults there? Does she want kid-friendly? Does she want it to be a relaxed atmosphere or a party atmosphere? I mean, I've had women who wanted to have a glass of wine and have classical music. I've had people who want like dance party music. You know, if it was me, I'd want the dance party music, right? So even the atmosphere of the pop-up is something you should ask them about. Do they want a small group of people? Do they want a big group? Do they want you to focus on styling tips or pattern mixing? These are all questions that you should be asking for your hostess prep or your hostess serving your hostess. So once you know what she wants out of her pop-up, you're gonna ask her, tell me, how many free items would you like to earn from your pop-up? You know, and ask her that, and she'll say, well, I don't know. That's what most of them say. I don't know, because they don't know what the possibilities are. That's where your expertise gets to come out. Because you know, what do you want? One free item? Do you want 5 free items? Like, give her a choice. And of course, if she's smart, she's going to say, well, I'd love 5. Okay, so if she wants 5 free items, she's going to need to have a good amount of people there, right? She's going to have anywhere, probably about 30 people at her pop-up. So what does that mean? That means she has to invite about 80 people to her pop-up, right? Some people know that many people. So can you imagine checking out that many people? That'd be amazing. But it's important to help her understand and work backwards. Okay, if you want 4 free items, that means we have to have about 20 to 30 people there, you know, or about 20 people there. That means you have to invite about 60 people. And she might go, oh, okay. Or, oh, wow. Say, no problem. I'm going to help you do that, you know, and I'll tell you a way to do that. You are going to ask her to fill out Franks. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about that, but it's friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids' acquaintances, and, oh, the last S I always forget. Spouses, acquaintances. Okay? So I'll say that again. Franks, friends, relatives, acquaintances, like her personal acquaintances. Acquaintance would be the girl at Starbucks, the receptionist at the dentist office. That's acquaintances. The person that checks her out every time she goes to the grocery store, you know, the checker. Those are acquaintances. And then N, neighbors. That's an easy one. And so that's neighbors. K is kids, contacts. So moms of their kids or teachers or things like that. And then your spouse's contacts. So if your spouse has a best friend, you're going to invite his wife, that kind of thing. So you're going to help her make her list and put as many people on there that directly correlates with how many pieces she wants to get free, right? You're the expert. You're making all of these pieces connect. What styles does she want you to have at her party? Depending on the size of your inventory, if you just got your initial inventory, obviously you don't have to ask her that question. But if you have a larger inventory, you may want to ask her, what styles do you want to make sure I bring? I personally do not bring all of my styles because they don't all fit in my minivan. So I ask the hostess to pick her top 5, and then I fill in from there. I bring anywhere between 4 and 6 racks, depending on the space that she has, and it has 2 styles per rack. So that's what I bring. Does she want snacks or no snacks? Do you want snacks or no snacks? It's really important that you let her know that, you're going to be around clothing. So really think about snacks that aren't going to get things on your fingers. If it's finger food, make sure that there's napkins, that kind of thing. If it's kid friendly, do you have a babysitter? You're there to make sure the day of her pop-up runs smoothly. Now, some people do ask their hostesses to help load and unload their car. I don't do that because my husband does all of that. So if that's something that you want, that's something you would communicate as well. Anything ahead of time that you want to make sure that you have for the logistics of the party. Now check on the setup and explain what you need. You want to make sure you have enough space. Pets, I always ask the pet question, and I say, I love pets, but it's really important that they are in a separate room, and the room that I'm in is clean and removed of any hair, because I ship my clothing all over the United States, and some of my customers are extremely allergic to animals. That's what I say. Talk about the hostess rewards. What will she earn for hosting a pop-up with you? Be super generous with your hostesses. The word of mouth is how you're going to get most of your pop-ups, whether online or in-home. So you want to make sure you treat your hostess like gold. What does she want out of her pop-up? And we talked about before, but whether that's hostess rewards, the experience, what is it that she really wants? Just to connect with friends. Some people, earning the free item is like extra. They really just want a girls' night. What is it that she wants? Because the reason why I say that, if she is all about getting free items, then you're about making sure that you tell her how to have the most guests there. If she's looking for more the experience, you're going to be talking about who does she really want there and how to get them there, and how you're going to make sure once her friends are there that you help them have the best time possible. Okay, so when I'm looking to serve my hostess, I'm talking to her need and her wants. I'm not talking about how I'm going to sell the most clothing or what I want her to do without talking about why I want her to do it, okay? I want her to invite that many people so you can have the experience of all your friends together for a fun girls' night, right? Because then you're speaking to her why. So after you find out all those details, you're going to agree on a plan together. You're going to, what does she need to do to ensure the success of her pop-up? That's when you're going to go over how many people she needs to invite. How is she going to invite them? I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. Is she going to email them? Are you going to put together a red stamp text that she can text out? Is she going to contact them on Facebook Messenger? Talk about that. Is she going to call them? How and when should she follow up with her guests? That's really important for you to talk about. All of my home parties, I go over all of this on the phone. I want to have an interactive conversation. Now I follow up in a way, like one of the things here is, it was here. I think I removed it. But how does she want you to communicate with her? Does she want, from now on after this phone call, is email better, text, or Facebook Messenger? You're going to find out what works best for her. So follow-up can be on a social media. But you want to make sure that initially for me anyway, I like that phone call. I like to be able to ask questions and get an answer. I like her to be able to hear my tone of voice, and that I can really comfort her that I am going to do everything I can to make sure she gets what she wants out of her LuLaRoe pop-up. It's about serving your hostess, not what you and her guests, not what I'm going to get out of the pop-up. Because when I do that, inevitably we have an amazing pop-up. How and when should she follow up with her guests? I kind of talked about that. Give her permission to do that, but make sure she does it, like the importance of reminding them. And then what do you need from her on the day or evening of the pop-up? If she's putting out snacks, make sure they're in a separate area from the clothing. Again, that's when you would go over if you want her to help set up, let her know that you're going to be there, 30 minutes before, an hour before, depending on how much time you need to set up. You're going to prep her and let her know what you need from her that day. Thea, I'm going to arrive an hour ahead of time. My husband's coming to help set up. This is what I say. My husband's coming to help set up, so you don't need to do anything. But I would love you there so you can shop ahead of time. I always let my hostesses shop ahead of time and put stuff aside. Even if they're not going to buy it all, I do allow them to put aside their items. And then you want to assure her that you are there and committed to make sure her pop-up is the most successful and the most fun and the best girls' night that she could have. Okay? So really what this
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
When do you suggest that that the hostess asks the people to follow up? So when should she follow up with her guests? Do you usually say a week before, a couple days? What's your suggestion?
So a couple of times, honestly. It depends, if she sends out, how is she inviting people? So let's say it's a Facebook event, because I think that's how most people do now, not all, but most. Then I'm going to post all the styles that I carry. I do it 10 days before my pop-up. And I have her comment and tag any friend she thinks might like that style, but she comments on every post. And then 2 days before, I have her send a message to everybody who was invited. I'm super excited to see you. It's the ones that have said that they're coming for sure, that they're coming. I have her contact them 2 days before. The maybes, I also have her contact them. And then anybody that hasn't said, yes, I'm coming, but she wants them there, I give her permission to say, hey, is there anybody on your list that hasn't said they're coming, but you really want them there? And she'll say, yeah, so-and-so and so-and-so. So you know what? Send them a message letting them know that you really want them there. And 90% of the time, those are the ones that show up. And then I do have her remind them that day as well. So they get a Facebook invite from her, and then 2 days before, and then the day before.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. If it's a Facebook party, I have her message her friends or tag her friends in the event. Oops, I didn't do that one. So this question, I love this from The Outward Mindset, the book The Outward Mindset. If you guys have never read it, I highly recommend it. Whose needs and objectives, our customers or our own, will be our primary focus and concern? This is a really important question. I think it's so easy to get caught up in our personal numbers, our personal goals, especially if we're cruise qualifying or we have something specific that a goal that we're trying to reach. But if we can set that aside, I think of it as putting it on the shelf for a time. For right now, I'm going to put that goal on the shelf, and I'm going to focus on serving my hostess. And the results will show for themselves. And that is really true. So really focusing on our customers' needs and objectives instead of our own will really make that pop-up amazing. So here's LuLaRoe's mission statement. And if you don't have that at your desk or right in front of you, I highly recommend that you put it somewhere where you can see it often, or even memorize it. But it's where through fashion we create freedom, serve others, and strengthen families. A place where lives are being blessed and dreams achieved through love, confidence, purpose, and growth. And I know when I first started LuLaRoe, this LuLaRoe mission statement, I thought it for me, right? Created freedom for me, create, where I get to serve others, but really it was about my family being strengthened and my family being blessed and my dreams being achieved. But how about a dream of a hostess where she just wants to have her friends together and have a good time? I've even had parties where it's just mom, sister, and relatives, just for her family to have a good time together. That's a dream being achieved, just as a pop-up where we can serve our hostess, we can bless them, and really allow them to be confident in the clothing and try it on, and is an amazing perspective change that will help you fall in love with your pop-ups all over again. So I would love to answer your questions. Any specifics about hostess coaching? Really what I did here mostly was talk about a mindset of hostess coaching. But I'm happy to answer any questions that have to do with like the specifics of hostess coaching.
Okay, so you guys can either unmute yourselves and ask questions, or you can type something down in the chat. Natalie, this has been awesome. I knew this was going to be great. So we were together in a Focus 10 group, and Natalie always had like awesome and really insightful things to say. So I knew this was going to be a great chat, and I've learned a lot. This is really great. And I think it's really important to always think about your customers, to just have that outward mindset. It really changes everything.
Yeah, it really does. And with other direct sales companies, I've never heard of this perspective taught ever. So we're really blessed in LuLaRoe to truly have a company that is not only focused on serving you as retailers, and me as a retailer, and teaching your leaders to serve you, which this is huge, but teaching us how to serve our customers is amazing. So don't be afraid to ask a question. I know as soon as one person asks a question, everybody's going to ask a question. So don't be afraid.
Don't be scared.
And if you're
another one.
If you guys have a good tip, hey.
Hey, it's Al, Thea's husband. So I'll ask this for everybody. What are your tips on getting parties at parties? I guess how do you go about doing that? And what do you find that's successful for you?
Awesome. That is it. So are you asking me, or were you asking everybody?
No, I was just asking you for everybody.
Okay. I love that question. I would really, there's a bunch of different ideas, but I would find something that works for your personality. Okay. So for my personality, I'm an orange. I love like fun things. Okay. But what I first do when I'm setting up, I ask my hostess, tell me about who's coming. Tell me about who's coming tonight. And she'll start talking. She'll say, well, my mom's coming and my best friend, and she's bringing a friend. And like, she'll just start, blah, 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 telling you who's coming. And I'll say, okay, Thea, will you tell me who is the girl that's most likely to book a pop-up at your pop-up? That one that has every single party, and she'll laugh and say, oh, it's totally Jennifer. Like, she has every party. Like, awesome. If Jennifer books a party at your party, you're going to get, and this is where you fill in the blank, whatever you're comfortable with. What I say, okay, if Jennifer books a party at your party, Thea, you're going to get an additional item at 50% off tonight, or an additional free pair of leggings, or whatever it is, because you better bet Thea is going to get Jennifer, who already likes to book parties, to book a party. Okay. And then I say, is there anyone else who you think would book a party? And she'll say, maybe, there's a bunch of different answers after that. And I'll say, Thea, for every party that you book at tonight's party, you will get a free pair of leggings at their party, or 50% on it, whatever it is that you prefer to give away. but you and I are going to be partners. And I really make sure that my hostess knows that we're partners. It's not I'm the retailer and you're the hostess. Like, we are in this. You're going to be my supermodel. And I tell her, I'm like, Thea, you're my supermodel for tonight, and we pick out some outfits ahead of time that she's going to try on. And like, we are partners. And so we are partners again in booking these pop-ups. And I'm not afraid to ask somebody, how many pop-ups would you like to book at your party? Or wait, let me ask you this, Thea. How many half-off items or free leggings would you like to have? Right? I actually say it just like that. Like, how many parties would you like to book? Oh, wait. How many half-off items would you like to have? Right?
Who can say no to that?
What?
So who can say no to that?
Right. And you can even give a free item or a free skirt, or, the more generous you are, now you've got your hostess who is booking parties for you. I'm telling you, it works. So this is all work ahead of time. While you're setting up, you're talking to her, okay? And then at checkout, I talk to every person and I say, did you get everything that you loved tonight? 90% of the time, the answer is no. Okay? Do you ever walk into a store and get everything that you love? Most people don't. Some people say yes, and I'll say, wow, you're a lucky girl. But most people say no. I said, well, or if I was working with them and I know what they chose from, like, oh, you didn't get that, Amelia, or, oh, I love what you chose. Did you decide not to get the Sarah? Like, if I know what they picked, then I'll reference the item they didn't get and say, you can get that for free, right? That is a response question. It's not, would you like to host a party? It's, that you can get that for free, right? Like, hey, and they'll say, oh, really? Or, no, I didn't know that. Like, it's a inviting response question. And then I would say, yeah, by hosting a party, guess what? And I tell them first what the hostess will get if they book a party. Okay. If you book a party tonight, Thea gets a free pair of leggings at your party. And she is so excited to get a free pair of leggings. That girl is addicted to LuLaRoe, okay? But not only that, you get one free item for every 10 that are sold. And that Sarah that you love, you can get that for free. I'll hold it for you. Like, I'll hold it for your party. And, she's like, oh, really? Yeah, let's get a date right now. We'll pick a date, and then I'm going to call you tomorrow, and we'll go over the details, okay? So what works better? Daytime, or weekdays or weekends? And that's how I would do that. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think just the way you came off it came off perfectly. And I think thinking back to like Thea's successful parties, just that partnership with the hostess and having them realize that it's a partnership and you both are working together for success makes it so much better. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any other questions before we wrap up? Don't be shy.
You must have hostess coaching experts.
I think so.
Or you guys can tell me your you guys can tell me your hostess tips too. Like, if there's something that you do to book parties or hostess coach that you feel works really well, type it in the chat or unmute yourself. I'd love to hear about it.
Right. So I do very similar to you, where I talk to the hostess and, explain how the party's going to go and what is it that they want to get out of it. But I also, for some people, they just like to read things. So I'll have like a little thing written out as well to send to some people, because they're like, oh, do you have something to give me? Like, what do I need to do? How do I set up? That type of thing. And I put in lots of tips. Like, don't forget, you're going to need a room for people to change in. So either have a bathroom prepared or clean out that extra bedroom or something like that, and explaining about pets and all that fun stuff. So that's something that I do that's similar. I didn't think of something else.
One thing that we did early on, because it was just maxi skirts when I started, was I told people to wear like yoga pants, that way they can just put the skirts on and off. Well, I kind of have kept that, and I told people, wear a tank top and leggings. If you're comfortable, you can just throw clothes on and off that way, or you can change in another room. But honestly, if you give people permission to wear a tank top and leggings and change in somebody's living room, they will. Like, it's crazy pants. Like, and sometimes they don't even do that. But, like, they'll show up with their yoga pants and their workout clothes, and they'll just change right there. And that is so fun to me whenever you've got clothes flying everywhere and, people don't have to wait for the bathroom, and kind of giving them permission to do that is huge. I've always done it that way. And so people know that they can come and just start changing if they've got their yoga stuff on. And so it's really fun. People that are used to my parties, they come in their workout gear and just go have at it.
Yeah, I always see that as a sign of a good party when people start whipping their clothes off in the living room.
It's so true.
Okay, well, I think everyone is shy tonight. But thank you so much, Natalie. This has been really, really awesome. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm excited for you guys. Don't, really seek to serve and don't get discouraged. Just keep asking, keep doing it, because those pop-ups will come. Those successful pop-ups will come. We've all had pop-ups where nothing sells, or you get an exchange only, right? And then it's always moving on, and until that, the next successful party. And you guys are with a great company, and like I said, great leaders. So good job, and thanks for having me, Thea.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.